Hi everyone, in the next video I'm going to discuss why comparing yourself is actually an anti-self-love thing to do. I'll also be linking my most recent or one of the recent videos in terms of how to stop comparing yourself to others, to social media, to your past and future self as well. And do check that out because it's very helpful if you are on your fitness journey or if you're on certain stages of your life where you've maybe been at a different level, or now you're a beginner looking to be at a certain level, comparing yourself to others. So in this one, it's a bit more soul orientated. And it's really telling us, I'm going to go into the details of why it is actually an anti-self-love thing to do. So tune in with me while we dive a little bit deeper into this and gain a better understanding. So why is comparing ourselves an anti-self-love thing to do? I used to, and I think I still sometimes have those days where I realized when I'd love myself would be the more I succeeded, or the more when things were, going great in my life. And I started realizing that I am worthy of love and good things in life in unconditional ways as opposed to conditional ways. Now, this can be back to your childhood and your upbringing, which you're not aware of until later in life, or maybe until you watch this video, does it bring to mind. I suddenly realized that I had to really call out the conditional ways of loving myself and others, mainly myself, because my love for the ones that I do love is very unconditional, to the point where I give and probably beyond what I should be giving, where I may be being an empath, deplete my own energy. And that is something that I've learned and put boundaries on, and learning even more, because unfortunately sometimes it doesn't get you any closer, or doesn't get you anywhere any further than if you respected your boundaries. The only thing is, it negatively impacts you. So as much as I had no other choice to really realize where boundaries are needed for my own health, I also realized I really needed to love myself fully. And at times that everything was a mess, I was holding myself accountable for the losses. Or also when, for example, you might have some drama or arguments with someone, a loved one, and just because the way they tend to maybe always pinpoint at you, and this can be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, you start to take on what they're actually saying, even though you know it's not you. And then, for example, it would be someone else or something else goes wrong, and you're like, maybe it is that I'm too straightforward, or maybe it is that I don't have an opinion. And so you start to take on those beliefs, and you believe that everything that maybe then goes wrong from something you said is because you've heard this person from your loved ones tell you this constantly, when they are obviously imperfect themselves, and they're projecting something onto you. And then throughout, for example, your career or daily life or whatever you're liaising on, you also hear it, and so you take that on board, and you think it's you, and then you start to love yourself in conditional ways, where when you communicate in a way where you get what you are requiring as an outcome, then you will love yourself. But if you don't get a requirement of your outcome from the way, for example, we're talking about communication, you communicate, you're going to be saying you don't really love yourself. You're going to be replaying all those things that were probably not true from the projected people onto you, and people that don't even know each other. So it's really important to really check in with yourself. Are you loving yourself in unconditional ways or conditional ways? I also see this happening. I also see this everywhere happening too. It's like we've been given instructions to play accordingly. Do this right or succeed in that, and you're good to go. You'll be worthy of love, and you're going to be loved of liking yourself too. And then fail at this and go extra hard on yourself. Let others love you less, hate yourself even, until you get it right, and then you are worthy of love. Lots of us call this love, and we may find it noble and it's making sense even. That's not love, right? So in the moment it'll make sense that it's love. You know, you're worthy of the love right now that you've achieved, I don't know, a promotion, or now that you're talking to a family member you never used to speak to, or you know you got in disharmony with. We find it normal and that it makes sense that when something positive lands or we succeed, that we are more worthy of love. And the worst is that that's when we love ourselves more, because we don't want to be relying on other people's love to know our worth and love ourselves. We should love ourselves unconditionally. And we've been trained to satisfy someone else's demands and found our whole worth regarding love and being loved around it. Then we become this very person to our own selves too. So can you see the dynamic of the cycle that happens? There's something so conscious and conscious altering, let's say, and liberating in choosing to hold, love, and embrace yourself, regardless of your best and worst moments. And get yourself to do this so equally, no more, no less, regardless of the outcome or the situation you're in or whatever it is. It can feel as though in the moment all the problems fade away and all the worries don't feel so scary anymore. And some would say you're embracing your inner child. But it's really important to pick up where you have that element of comparing yourself or thinking you're worthy of love due to outcomes, because really those two elements are anti-self-love. We also oftentimes think that during such moments we'll be loved less by others in any way, shape or form. And this only adds to our already make-up despair. It's a lack of love and the tend to put ourselves into and feel more of it whenever something does not succeed. We then feel we're failing. And with the lack of love as well, we impact our mental, emotional health, but also our self-image, our self-confidence, our self-esteem, and all round then affecting our mental, physical, and soul, on a soul level health, emotional health. Self-love really is unconditional, and don't be waiting for others to fully love you, or when they give you recognition for something that they believe is worthy. That is not love. So this is where it's really important that we anchor ourselves in the self-love that we need, because it really comes down to us. If we don't love ourselves, but even if others are loving us around us, you still don't feel worthy regardless. You will for a moment in time, but then you will still not have that anchor. Self-love is unconditional, and comparing ourselves to others, placing a major condition over our love and our ability to love, is not healthy. Keep the ways you love yourself regardless of based and keep going. So I hope this helped. I'm going to just wrap up again some points because I think it's important. And I bring this up because I've been there, and this is something that I'm not going to say I've eliminated always, no, but I realize and I try to catch myself. And just like you, I probably fall into the same boat sometimes. So why is love an anti-self-care thing to do? We often tend to compare ourselves to others. We place a version, a skill, a talent, a place, a work across that or someone else or many of these things or other things. And we draw these conclusions. Sometimes we're on a better end and sometimes we have the worst of it, or we land on a worse end than others, which could be, in most cases, some people would say it's a failure that triggers this. Regardless, when you compare yourself to others, you're moving a bit away from your soul, your inner self, and love ultimately, because you're placing a condition to be compared, to be better, or to be good enough. And based on whom or what are you comparing yourself to or your life to? Love cannot be conditional, especially when it comes from ourselves to ourselves. It's not love if it has to come with a do better, could be better, or even better. And your beloved kind of energy. That's extortion, not love. Self-love means I will love you regardless. And I'm talking about, I'm sure a lot of us, and let me know if you comment, do you feel that you're able to love your loved ones regardless, but when it comes to you, you rarely relate to this? Because that's how from my perspective, that's what I've struggled with. And so do let me know in the comments if it's the same for you. But really telling yourself, I love you regardless of the time, the phase, the version, the quality, the quantity, the pace, the season, the outcome, the result, the people around you in your life, the choice, the mistake, the victory, the success, and the failure. And this is really why I've done this video, because I believe it's very paramount. And I hope you took away something from this video. If you liked it, please do like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments how this actually helped you. Maybe you're already on a self-love journey. Maybe you are on a healing journey. And if you want any of my services with energy healing, or any of my coaching, or life purpose coaching, but tying in with this is the energy healing, then you can contact me for any of my services. The information is in the description box below. Until next time, everyone, I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in our next video. Bye for now.